Alright, as far as the class updates go, I have fallen a bit behind. I know I started out doing after like every single class, and then it became more of like a condensed version, like recap of maybe 2 classes together or the entire week. Well, yeah, I've kind of fallen behind because of dealing with everything else. I've just been like way too exhausted. And now that I'm in a hostel, it's kind of difficult because when I was couch surfing before, I could record my updates during the day when my hostesses were out, and now I really can't because there's always someone around in a hostel. And there was a period where I was like, I could record at night outside, but it was just too cold. And now it's been really hot lately, but I guess I just haven't managed because I've been way too exhausted and pretty much sleeping until dark, and I would much rather record with daylight than by street lamp. But I did finish the first course, which was a 1.1. It was supposed to take 8 weeks doing it twice a week, but doing it 3 times a week, we finished in 5 weeks, and we had a test, like a real test, and it was basically the first time that I really studied outside of class. For the most part, like after class, I'm way too out of it, and especially when I have class like 2 days in a row on those days, the second day is really rough, and I'm like exhausted the second day from the first day. So typically, since I already have class 3 days a week, on the other 4 remaining days I'm not really thinking about class. I'm resting from class and trying to accomplish other things in that time. So I finally got myself to study in the days before the test, but it was definitely too little too late. Like, I was reviewing the foods and the numbers, which helped, but like there were other things like objects that you have in an office that I didn't look at all, and you know, a lot of other things that we reviewed for a few minutes right before the test, and like I had no idea what was going on. I was so lost, and like the test itself, it was not good. Afterward, I said, how much percentage do you need to actually pass the test? And the teacher said you need at least 60%, which I thought was good because, you know, I was thinking you have to pass with like 70 or 80%. But it was like out of so many points, so then I calculated, like converted the points to percentage, and I had like 61.25%. So I barely passed. It was just like 1%. And I definitely feel like I'm the weakest one in the class, or at the very least I'm on the weaker end. There are people who have picked it up a lot faster, probably because they're studying every night. And it's even more frustrating. There's one guy in the class who doesn't even want to be there because he's only going to be in the country for 3 months, and like it's not going to really do him any good, and he feels like it's a waste of time. But it seems like he's like at the top of the class, like he's doing really well, and it's just so frustrating just knowing like how good I am with languages, like if I'm being honest. But just having a neurological disorder kind of gets in the way, and like I can't pick it up the way I used to. And I know like a big part of it is that I'm in a place where I can speak English a lot and I don't have to try as much. So I think it might actually be good to like go someplace else where I'm more immersed and I have to use the language, because then I can progress a lot more quickly. But I guess I'm hesitant to do that. I don't know. Like I on the other hand, like I there are issues here, but I enjoy it and I want to spend time here and like get to know the city better. Alright, so anyways, even if you don't pass the test, you're allowed to continue to the next level. You just don't get a certificate. And it turns out that I wasn't getting a certificate either way because I switched classes and I missed the first 5 classes with this group. So even though I was learning the exact same material with the other class, and essentially it was like I missed one lesson because they were one lesson ahead of me, it doesn't count. Like you have to be in that class at least 80% of the course. And if I had done 1 hour of private tutoring, I probably would have gotten a certificate. There's this other guy who joined the class one period, who joined the group one class before me, and he still got the certificate. So I was just at the cutoff, but of course nobody told me this, so you know, I had no idea. I'm just like, I'm the only one who didn't get a certificate, even though I passed by 1%. So in the end, like it bothers me, and I want to argue that I should get it, but they're saying that like there's sort of a database, I guess, where you enter the attendance in, and you know, there's no possible way that they can go back and change it so I can get the certificate. But in the long run, it doesn't really matter as long as I continue. Like I would definitely want that certificate if I end up leaving before I get the next certificate, which is always a possibility. You know, I feel like I'm constantly going back and forth where like, should I leave now or should I stay? Should I stay or should I go? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try to stay to the end of this second course, the A1.2 if possible, and I should get a certificate from that one at least. And then we've got December off, thanks to me arranging all of that so that I could be gone for the entire month. And then the third course starts in January, which is a 1.3. So it's like 6 months, and I did the math. Like if I was taking the exact same number of hours per week for this class and for French, it takes 7 times longer to learn Hungarian, which is a lot. And I don't even necessarily feel like Hungarian is like so much more difficult. It's just that there's so much with French that's like already familiar in the beginning stages, I guess. And with Hungarian, you have to learn how to say like hello, thank you, good morning, like everything, like from the basics. And it's just so easy to get away with speaking English here. And I feel like in France, like even if they don't really understand you, they like encourage you to speak French because they want to speak French and be more comfortable. So yeah, that's where I am right now. And since I'm kind of like a couple weeks behind on the updates, maybe I'll not do them every every day or every week. Maybe I'll just do like a recap at the end of this course and see how far I get. But yeah, I think if I'm at the rate I'm going, it'll take me like a year and a half to reach a B1, which is what I'm aiming for. And if I want to maybe improve my progress, I either I need to start studying more or find a way to be more immersed in the city, or go someplace else where like that's my only option. But we'll see what happens.